Russia is attacking Ukraine on all fronts, from east to west, from north to south. Russia is making rapid advances, solidifying its gains along Ukraine's crumbling front line ahead of any potential peace talks with Kyiv. In the east, Russia has captured the last Ukrainian stronghold in the Donbas region. In the west, Moscow launched a massive drone barrage, setting buildings on fire. Putin's forces are wearing down Ukrainian troops across the 1,100-kilometer front line. The question is peace possible under such circumstances? And if yes, what price will Ukraine really have to pay for that? As Russia continues to pummel Ukraine from all sides, what is Ukraine willing to sacrifice for peace? Now, before we go on, have a look at these images on your screen. Drone footage released by the Russian Defense Ministry on Sunday. What does it tell us? It shows men waving Russian flags on top of that heavily damaged building. These men are Russian troops, and they claim to have taken control of a Ukrainian village. It's called Velika Novosilka. If what Russians are claiming is indeed true, Ukraine has just lost its last stronghold in southern Donbas. And you see, that's a big setback for Ukraine. The town was a key component of Ukraine's heavily fortified defensive line in this region. It also served as a major logistics hub for the Ukrainian troops. Russians have been able to drive a wedge through Ukraine's defensive positions, through drones and artillery storming. And now, if you have been closely following the developments, you would know the importance of Donbas. The thing is, while Russia's larger objectives in the Ukraine war go a lot further, there has been one consistent goal. It is the capture of the industry-heavy Donetsk and Luhansk regions, also known as the Donbas. And ever since they captured the town of Avdiivka in February 2024, the Russians have remained on the offensive here. So it would be no exaggeration, really, to say that the loss of Velika Novosilka is a major setback for Ukraine. Sure, after 3 years of fighting, both Russia and Ukraine have shown interest in peace talks. But what will the price of that peace be, is the big question. You see, it's not just the fact that Russia has captured the last stronghold of Donbas. It's the fact that Ukraine's entire front has collapsed on a daily basis. The Russian military is striking Ukrainian military infrastructure, warehouses for storing drones, and concentrations of Ukrainian military personnel and equipment. On Sunday, in fact, Ukrainian forces said they had repelled multiple Russian assaults in Kupiansk and Pokrovsk in eastern Ukraine. And Russia also claimed its troops had taken control of a settlement called Zelin in Donetsk region. As you can tell, fighting continues across various parts of the front line. In just the last 24 hours, the Ukrainian armed forces reported a total of 123 combat clashes at different parts of the front, from Vuhledar and Pokrovsk in the south to Chaziv Yar and Kupiansk in the north, and even in Kursk in Russia, where Ukraine staged a surprise invasion in August. Russia has overwhelmed Ukrainian forces. Ukraine's death toll alone is estimated to exceed 83,000. It is struggling to keep up its recruiting pipeline and bolster its ranks. Meanwhile, Russia has replenished the ranks of its dead and injured soldiers by attracting new recruits. And what's more, Russia's war machine is churning out missiles and drones and submarines. Just today, Russian Defense Ministry released footage showing the arrival of its fourth-generation nuclear-powered attack submarine. They call it the Arkhangelsk. It carries an array of seaborne weapons that gives it the capability to strike at both sea and land. The crew of this sub is expected to undergo additional training, after which the vessel will formally join Russia's Northern Fleet's naval force, ready for immediate deployment. Now, what it all means is that the Ukraine war is nearing another critical juncture, with pressure building for a ceasefire or a peace deal that would basically pause, if not outright, halt the fighting nearly 33 months in. Russia is trying to advance as much as possible and show its ability to sustain the same intensity of fighting. It will help Russia create a new reality on the ground, and it will also give it leverage over such issues like Ukraine's NATO membership prospects. And Ukraine knows it. In October, Ukrainian Major General Dmytro Marchenko made a rare public admission about the same. Later, he announced his resignation in what many saw as punishment in a way for his candor. Months after that incident, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is now making similar admissions. He has acknowledged a surge in military desertions amid growing war fatigue. He has said that they do not have the strength to retake the territories occupied by Russia. And by the way, he has said there is one option remaining: talks with Vladimir Putin. And today the Kremlin has once again said that it is yet to receive any signals from the US about arranging a possible meeting between Putin and Trump. The Kremlin said it remains ready to organize such a meeting, but Russia has been ready for talks for many months now, albeit with conditions. And that is where the question of concessions really comes in. Last week, the new US president made vociferous attempts to pressure Putin into ending the war in Ukraine. He threatened sanctions on Russia if Trump does not come to, if in fact the leader does not come to the talking table. Remember, Trump also boasted he could end the war in 24 hours, but that's all that we've been seeing for the last 7 days between Trump and Putin. Invitations to talks, a little stroking of the ego in a way, a few jabs here and there, yet so far the two leaders have not spoken. And from where we are sitting, what's happening between the two leaders only suggests that the only way to end the Ukraine war is for the two of them to meet, and presumably without the Ukrainians. Remember, it's still not clear what, if any, security guarantees Trump is willing to offer to Volodymyr Zelensky. He has been asking for it. And so we are back to square one. What is Ukraine willing to pay for peace? To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.